Hi, I'm Steve Kahn, and welcome to Ion Piscataway. Tonight we're going to have the opportunity to take a pretty close look at the Piscataway library system. As some of you may know, during the height of COVID-19, the libraries, like everything else, were closed temporarily, but our two great libraries are open, they're functioning, and we're going to have the opportunity tonight to talk to some of the folks that work at the library, to together learn a little bit more about how the library works and what services they have. It's a really great and interesting show. Before we do that, though, we're going to take a brief look at some of the video clips of some of the important stuff that's gone on in town this summer. We've had a lot of road construction projects. We've had the completion of the community center. And fortunately, we were able to have an abbreviated Little League and Tball season, so we're going to see just a little bit of video from that. So here we are at the community center, which has been pretty much finished for quite a while. One of the last things that needed to be done were the bleachers. There's bleachers in the basketball gym area as well as in the pool area. And they were coming from a factory in Michigan that was closed temporarily. It was difficult to get the products, but they're there. You see the guys putting them in. And so now we have bleachers that are retractable in the basketball court area so we can push them back for more gym space. And we have bleachers in the competitive swim pool area, which you'll see on the video. The governor has just changed some of the rules, and the community center is now actually set to open with limited occupancy, following lots of safety rules in October. And you can go on their website now, and you can join. I joined. I got a family membership. You can now get family memberships. There's some special deals that are being run if you sign up early. I encourage folks to do that. It's a great facility. And there you go. There's the bleachers in the gym. Okay, so you probably, if you've been driving around town, noticed that we did a lot of different road construction projects. That's over Kroger. Every year we do sidewalks, road construction projects. We try and do some projects in each part of town, which we did again this year. Here you see the contractors out working. New sidewalks, beautiful Belgian block curbing. The road work, here's Morris Avenue. That's a project that I'm not sure if it's done. They were working on it the other day when I tried to go up Morris and the road was closed. They'd been working on it for a while. There was some tree trimming before that. And that road, which really needed to be reconstructed, was reconstructed and repaved. By the time the show airs, it's probably done. Johnson Avenue and over on the other side of town, same thing. Road needed reconstruction. There, you see it's been milled out. Got some new curbing over on Brotherhood, a different part of town. You can see we're trying to do a few streets in each part of the town until we can cover everything. Brotherhood is getting some curbing and some sewer work as well, which dramatically needs because there's flooding over in that part of town. It's old construction that's being redone. There you see the big sewer pipes. That's going to be a tremendous improvement for the residents over in that general neighborhood. It'll alleviate a lot of the flooding when it rains. The road will have curbing and operate as a new road as opposed to a road that's 50, 60, 75 years old. Probably older. Zirkle, again, another part of town. That's an old street. That stretch of road up there, I'd be guessing if I told you how old it was, but there's parts of that are pretty old, and you can see it's getting completely reconstructed with some new sidewalks, Belgian block curbing, some drainage improvements. There were some real drainage issues out there. Lakeside Drive, different part of town, same thing. Sewer drainage improvements, repaving, reconstruction. A lot of work with a lot of cost. What things the residents want and we need, and we try and get as many streets done as we can each year. You can see on the township's website long-term plans for what roads we project out that will be done over the next couple of years. That website and the plans get modified based upon engineering plans and budget issues. Haywood and Linwood over in the Possumtown area, we have those roads over there need a lot of work, and there's a long-term plan. We've been repaving a couple of roads a year over there. We're going to be doing parts of second next year. We're doing engineering work on a variety of different roads over there in the Possumtown area as well. We were lucky this year. The Little League folks and the Township Rec folks did a great job. We were able to start late, but have an abbreviated Little League and Tball season. The kids had a great time. There were a lot of safety rules. And I'll tell you, I was a coach this year. The parents, the kids, everybody followed the guidelines. Kids had fun. You see the coaches were wearing masks, trying to maintain social distancing. We left it optional for kids. Really, I can't say enough. The Little League and the rec department did a great job. The parents who participated were really cooperative, and the kids did their part. They had fun. There they are out there. And it was really important to be able to get some of this in this summer, a sense of normalcy. America and baseball. There's the Little League folks out there. It was really, everybody appreciated the fact that we were able to get some of that in. And the kids, of course, traditionally get their trophy playing T-ball. They love them. My kids have them on their shelf from T-ball years gone by. So it was a successful, all things considered, it was a pretty successful summer out there. Nothing like getting your first trophy as a kid. In Piscataway, we're really lucky that we have an excellent library system. We have 2 libraries in town, and they're now both open and serving the public. So we're going to take an opportunity in this show to take a pretty deep look at the library. We're going to talk to several different individuals that work at the library in different areas, and really give the public a good understanding of the services that are available at the Piscataway Public Library System. So the first person that we're going to talk to is the director of the libraries in Piscataway, and that's Heidi Cramer. Welcome, Heidi, to the show. I want to give you, I guess, a chance initially to introduce yourself to the residents of Piscataway who may not know you. Just give us a little background on who you are and what your job is in town.
Sure. Thank you so much. Nice to meet with you today, Councilman Khan, and nice to be on with PCTV. As you said, my name is Heidi Cramer, and I'm the director of the Piscataway Public Library. I have been the director for just over 2 years. And as you mentioned, we're really proud to serve the community with 2 locations, the Kennedy Library at 500 Hose Lane and the Westergaard location at 20 Murray Avenue. So it's really nice that this community has both of those locations to utilize the library services.
So what do you do as the director? What's your role there? Maybe it's an obvious question, I don't know.
No, that's, it's a great question. For people who don't know, libraries are pretty complex organizations, and some savvy library users know that we serve really Piscataway residents from birth all the way up to our senior community. And in addition to the book collections that most people are familiar with as far as a traditional library service is, we have a vast array of programming, and I know some of my colleagues will give more detail on that. But programming for all ages, which at this time has obviously transitioned to the online environment. We also offer digital services. So in addition to people coming into the building to utilize computers, we have classes for technology skills. And in addition to our physical collections, we have vast digital collections. So database access for research and downloadable collections.
So why don't you give, if you can, give us an, you may have done some of that just now, but give us an overview of, what services are available for residents.
Sure. So in addition to checking out materials, physical books, CDs, DVDs, etc., we do have our downloadable collections, and I'll give a little detail on those. We have two platforms for ebooks and downloadable audiobooks. So the first one is Overdrive, and the app for your phone or tablet for that is the very popular Libby app. So once you have your library card, you'll download that app, you'll connect with our collections, and if an item is available, you'll be able to start listening or reading immediately. If an item is checked out to another user, you'll place it on hold and you'll be notified when it's available. I use that app a lot. It's great if you are a commuter or if you like to listen to audiobooks in your home or while you're walking, etc. The other ebook and audiobook platform is Hoopla. It is similar in that it's an app you'll download. It works a little differently. There are some restrictions based on budget limitations, but the Hoopla app, if an item is in their collection, you can download it immediately. There are no holds, so you'll have immediate access to anything they have available. So both of those ebook, e-audio platforms have been extremely popular, especially over the past several months when the library building was closed to the public and when physical collections were not available. Other services I want to mention are a core library service is reference and readers advisory. So patrons can call us for assistance with their devices. They can call us for some research assistance. They can contact us for guidance on what to read next or what we have available that suits their interests. We're happy to hear from people. We receive questions by phone, by text, by email. We have a new chat feature on our website, piscatawaylibrary.org. So we're available to assist residents with whatever their interests are, and we're happy to hear from people.
So I'm a resident at home. I'm watching PCTV, and I'm listening to you, and I'm really excited because I don't know anything about the library. I've never been to the library, and now I want to get involved. The first thing one would do would be to get a library card, correct?
Absolutely. We are very happy that September is National Library Card Sign-Up Month as designated by the American Library Association. So it's a great time to get a library card, but any day is a great day to get a library card in Piscataway. So it's very easy. You're going to come into either the Kennedy Library or the Westergaard Library and bring some identification and proof of address, and we will issue a library card immediately. Alternatively, if you are home and you want to get started with downloadable materials, maybe before you can come into the building, you can certainly go to the library's website. We have a very simple form to fill out. Once we receive that, we will email back the library card credentials, and you can get started using your library card right away online. And then when you come in to use your library card in the building, we'll just ask to see your identification then.
So do I need to be a Piscataway resident to get a library card in Piscataway?
Yes. the Piscataway Library issues cards to Piscataway residents. We have a few exceptions to that. The great news is that Piscataway Library, along with most other libraries in Middlesex County, we are a member of the Libraries of Middlesex Automation Consortium. So it's a shared services type of agreement. So once things are a little bit more settled with the public health crisis, we will be able to resume placing holds on materials that are owned by other libraries, and vice versa, with delivery in between libraries. So if you are a Piscataway resident, you'll get a card in Piscataway. If you are a resident of a nearby town and you want to use the Piscataway Library, we have some agreements that facilitate that to make it easy. And likewise, Piscataway residents can take advantage of visiting other nearby libraries through those agreements.
So that sounds great. So if I look up and I see there's a particular book that I want and you don't have it, if say the New Brunswick Library or the Edison Library has it, there's this joint agreement, cooperative agreement, and I can get my hands on that particular book.
Yes, absolutely. A little different right now until our delivery service resumes statewide, but we hope that will be happening sometime this fall.
So again, I'm the resident at home that doesn't know anything, and I'm asking these questions. What does it cost? I want a library card. Is it going to cost me money?
It is a great question, and library cards are free. So no cost to get a library card or borrow materials.
And I think because I'm an amateur student of history, that's a Ben Franklin invention. Am I correct about that?
I think so. Free public library, absolutely.
Well, that's terrific, because one of the things that we pride ourselves in Piscataway on is to be inclusive, and not to be a community where some people have certain benefits and others can't afford them or don't have them. And the library is a great example of that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Let me ask a couple questions about some of these online services. So
sure.
If I'm interested in a particular book, like I just read a book a month or two ago on Jackie Robinson, and then I read a book on Sandy Koufax, and both baseball players that were famous players, and I had an interest in reading more. If I don't have to get in the car and drive to the library, I can go onto your website and generally search that area to see what books are available.
Yes, you can search the library's catalog on the website, so piscatawaylibrary.org. The link for the catalog is right on the homepage. So you can search to see what our holdings are, as well as, of course, the holdings of other libraries in our LMXAC consortium, as well as with the digital services. So if you download either of those apps, Libby for the Overdrive platform or Hoopla, you can search those as well and have immediate access to whatever interests you there.
So I guess we should talk about, for a period of time, obviously the library was closed due to the COVID-19 crisis. I know from my perspective as a council person, and also my friend and partner in my law office, I don't know if you know, is Harold Parra, who is on the library board of trustees, that the library went through a detailed process to figure out how to open in phases. And I know you guys did a great job with that. Can you tell us a little bit about, not so much that process, because the process has been worked through, where you all are now and what the functioning is of the library and what residents should know and expect if they want to visit the library?
Yes. So as you mentioned, the library is governed by our Board of Trustees, and we enjoy the support of our Board of Trustees, and want to acknowledge the support of Mayor Waller and our council for really enabling the library to provide all of these services. So our trustees were very much engaged in a process of developing a reopening plan. There was a lot of staff contribution to those reopening plan phases that we have now started to implement. So our first step was to provide our contact-free service, which we call Library to Go. And that service will continue. So for residents who would prefer to pick up items at the door rather than come into the building, we will certainly continue providing that service. It's very convenient. A lot of our patrons are appreciating that. We check the materials out to their library card, and they can just pick those up in a contact-free way right at the entrance of either building. The other part of our reopening plan was that on July 20th, we did reopen both buildings with limited services and slightly limited hours. So our current hours are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 12 noon to 8 p.m. and Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 12 noon to 4 p.m. And in general, just as when you visit other public buildings or retail locations in New Jersey, as per executive orders, we have some new protocols in place. So we ask that people stay home if they don't feel well. If you don't feel well, that's a good day to use the library's remote services rather than coming into the buildings. We ask that when people arrive, they sanitize their hands. We ask that people observe social distancing and remain at least 6 feet away from other patrons and library staff members. Most importantly, we ask that everyone follow the executive order and library policy and wear a mask or cloth face covering, covering both their nose and mouth. And we ask that people limit their use to browse and borrow for about 30 minutes. We also have computer use, and that is by appointment. We strongly suggest people make appointments for a 1-hour computer use appointment, and they can call either library location to do that.
I know our library provides different services, and we're going to get into this more with some of these other folks, different services for different groups and age groups and so on. Can you give us an overview of some of the services that the library provides, specialized type services?
We have quite a few. So we have quite a few services for our youngest readers, children's services, and I know you'll be talking with one of our children's librarians in more detail about that. We also have a lot of specialized services for our new Americans population. So recent immigrants to the country, recent immigrants who are living here in Piscataway, they are welcome to take advantage of our library services. And we do have English as a second language classes for that community, as well as some support for studying for citizenship exams. And I know you'll hear in a bit more detail about that. We also have services for members of the community who have difficulty accessing our collections. We do provide homebound delivery for those members of the community who cannot travel here in person. We have, in our wide array of collections, we have expanded our large print collection. So for members of the senior community, or just anyone who would prefer the ease of reading those larger print books, we certainly have those materials as well. We do a lot to support job seekers, and I know you'll hear a bit more about that. So as you mentioned, we have a lot of specialized services, and as many as we have, I think here at the library, we often don't think of them as specialized anymore. They're just really part of the services that we offer to enable as much access to library collections and services as possible.
Are there some of the things that you feel are important that you want to discuss with the residents before we move on to some of the other interviews?
Oh, I think we covered quite a bit. I think you'll want to talk with some of my colleagues in more detail. I do want to mention that many of our programs, in addition to being core library services and part of support from the municipality, we also enjoy at the Piscataway Public Library the support of 2 other organizations. And we have a foundation, the Piscataway Public Library Foundation, and they provide some financial support to the library. And we also have an extremely active Friends of the Piscataway Public Library, and they support us both financially and through their volunteerism. So it's important to note how much community engagement and support we enjoy here at the Piscataway Public Library. So we definitely want to acknowledge all of our supporters.
Yeah, those are two excellent points, and I guess I just want to follow up on that. If somebody is really interested in getting involved in the library or assisting the library, they can be part of the foundation or the Friends of the Library organization. Can they get information from your Piscataway Library website if they want to be involved, get involved in that?
Yes, absolutely. Piscatawaylibrary.org will have the links out to those organizations, as well as contact information if anyone wants to reach myself or any of our librarians.
Well, I appreciate the time you took here away from your schedule to explain some of these important things to our residents.
Sure.
And I am very motivated to go out on the website and take a closer look at some of the stuff that you described here today. So thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you.
I'd like to welcome Kate Baker, who's the Adult Services Librarian, as the next individual we're going to talk to about some of the great services we have here in Piscataway, in our Piscataway Library.
My primary focus is services for new Americans, as Heidi mentioned. These are people who have moved to Piscataway from other countries. And the library wants to make people feel welcome in their new land and help them adjust to the new language and culture of their new home. So we offer things like English classes, which we call English as a Second Language. And these classes are free. Right now they're virtual, but they take place throughout the week at various days and times, even on Saturdays. And they're taught by volunteers from the community, Piscataway residents. These English classes cover everything from writing to conversation to the very basic English for people who really don't speak English at all. Everyone's welcome to attend these English classes. They just need to contact the library to register. And along those same lines, we also offer sometimes citizenship classes. And these are for people who are at the point in their naturalization process where they're ready to take the citizenship exam to become a US citizen. So our classes help them study, help them with the content of that exam. But at all times, people are welcome to come and check out materials from both libraries, books and DVDs that will help them to prepare for that naturalization exam. In addition, we offer workshops that are led by a community relations officer from the U.S. Citizenship and Information Services. She comes to the library or does this virtually and provides an overview of the naturalization process. And she answers questions that people have about immigration. So this has been really valuable for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's much nicer to have someone face-to-face to ask questions of, as opposed to calling the 800 number and trying to get through to a person. But also, it's very valuable to us because, as you know, there are a lot of immigration scams out there. There's a lot of bad information. And this is an opportunity for us to connect people in the community who need answers to immigration questions with someone who is very qualified and is up to date on the most current immigration information. So she can answer all of those questions. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that because Piscataway does have so many people who speak a language other than English at home, the libraries offer books for adults and children in 11 languages in addition to English. So everyone is welcome to come and browse our bookshelves and take some books home to their families.
That's a tremendously interesting program and really valuable in a diverse community like Piscataway. I have a couple of questions. How, if I'm a resident, do I find out about the particular services that I would be interested in? How do I find out or navigate through the information to find out how I can participate?
Sure. Just call the library or send me an email, Kate Baker, and we have, as I said, lots of services, and we can help guide you through that. And we encourage people to do that. We want them to become a part of the library and grow with us.
So we have a big diverse community in Piscataway. It's something that I think we're all proud of. Your full-time role at the library is to handle basically residents who are recent immigrants to assist them in getting library services, immigration. That's your full-time role.
That's my primary focus.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a big job unto itself.
Yeah.
And it's a really important job. And you make a good point that, there's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet and other places. And it's great that in our town, the township and through the library system is really trying to give the correct information to folks and really assist in this pretty challenging and stressful, process. So you indicated that we have books in 11 different languages.
Yeah.
You're saying? So if I'm, trying to learn English, but some other languages, my first language, I can find some material.
You can. We have, a lot of the major languages that are spoken in this town we based that on census data and the languages that are spoken by the school children at home.
That's terrific. What other while we have you, what other functions do you have? What other responsibilities at the library other than what you've explained?
I'm in charge of, as Heidi mentioned, the large print collection. So for our seniors or for anyone who has visual impairment or just finds that large print easier to read, we have lots and lots of books in fiction and nonfiction on all different subjects in large print. And I'm also responsible for the home delivery service. This is for people who are not able to come to the library because of a disability, whether it's they broke their leg, a temporary disability, or a long-term disability. As long as they have a library card, and we can even help them get one over the phone, they can have books delivered for free to their home every month. And there are no late fees, so they can keep the books for another month. And at that point, we will pick them up at the person's home and bring them back to the library and then bring them some new books. So it's a nice service for people who can't physically get here.
That's really important. And I confess I wasn't aware of the fact that we provide that service to disabled residents. That's something I think we should all be proud of. That's really a great service because it brings the library, not just on the internet, but the physical library to those folks who couldn't get to it.
Exactly. And a lot of people really do want to read those print books.
So we got a lot of folks to talk to, and we're trying to get. I'm learning more about the library than I thought I knew all about it, but I'm learning a lot more today, and I hope the folks at home are. Is there anything else that you wanted to add about what role you play? You play a really important role in the library. Anything else you want to add?
No, I just want to emphasize again that everyone is welcome here, and we try our best to serve all the needs of this really diverse town.
Well, I thank you on behalf of myself and the mayor and the council and others for the really important job you play in town. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here with Joy Robinson, who's an adult services librarian at the Piscataway Library, and she plays a really important role at the library. Welcome. Why don't you explain a little bit about what you do to the resident, what you do in the library to our residents?
So as one of several adult services librarians, I primarily handle reference and programming. We have a variety of programs. We strive to, as much as possible, work with local contributors and community partners to bring diverse programs to our community. We want to provide services that are useful information and resources, and we also aim to bring entertaining and life-enhancing programs. We want Piscataway to be a happier and healthier community.
I know that the library provides different types of classes for adults, or now I guess some of that may be virtual, but it used to be in person, and someday we'll go back to being in person. Tell us about some of the classes and programming for adults.
As Heidi already mentioned, we have several different computer classes, applications like Word, Google Docs, and presentation applications. We have a Crochet Along with Mary course series, and we have our makerspace. Again, when we were open to the public, we had 3D printing and other technology resources available. Mary also does a sewing course, and now, thanks to virtual cameras, she's able to do that online.
So I confess, I every year my New Year's resolution is that I'm going to learn how to use a computer better. Mm-hmm. And every year passes by with only minimal improvement of my computer skills. So if I'm a resident at home and I want to learn how to use some new applications on a laptop or PowerPoint or things like that, is that something that the library teaches?
Yes, they rotate on a series. So if it's not available right now, it will become available again. We try and keep the classes at a maximum size for effectiveness, so that everyone can get quality attention and really learn. So if you can't get into the class that you want to right now, you can add yourself to a wait list, and the class will rotate again. Another of the services that we provide is job readiness resources. We have on our database, we have Reference USA, and we have Job and Career Accelerator, as well as BrainFuse.
So let me just ask you a couple questions on that, because that's a really important service, and I know that we have an unprecedented amount of folks that have lost their jobs and a lot of disruption in the economy, and we've had residents that have came to us months ago when the libraries, everything was closed. You have a lot of folks that have really never been out of work or haven't been out of work, for many years, and don't really know how to do a resume or how to find a career in a different area, and they're somewhat lost. There's folks that can help them, and these programs could help people do research, basic skills, put together a resume, those type of things.
Yes, any of the reference librarians would be happy to help them to get to these resources, but they're all available online, so they can use their library cards to log in to the services. They can create an account, and they can go directly through BrainFuse. BrainFuse actually has, at the other end, so to speak, live people to assist with resumes. So they could submit a resume for someone to review, and BrainFuse will get back to them within a very short amount of time to give them pointers.
And these, of course, are all free services that the township's providing through the library system.
Yes, through the library, with their library card.
I'm a resident, I'm at home, I'm watching this, and I want folks to know that they can go through the library's website, log in and have access from home to a variety of different resource tools to help them research a particular industry, look for jobs, and real professional advice on how to go out and find those jobs, correct?
Absolutely, and there are even resources for practice interviews. So if you are like me and you're a little nervous about being on camera, because I imagine that many of the interviews for the short term or possibly the foreseeable future may be virtual, then there is the ability to practice an interview this way as well.
Yeah, that's a really important service. You know, we as local officials, and I include you folks as well, we all work for we're all working for the same team. We really have an obligation to try and help our residents.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's a really valuable service. There's one other thing that I had a little note that I wanted to ask about. I'm not sure you're still doing this or doing it online, but there's the library provides like discussion groups, book reading groups or discussion groups for books. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. You can see behind me several titles of the new titles. So we actually, we have a virtual book chat. While we were unable to provide the same title to everyone at the same time, we were limited in our ability to discuss the same title. But so what we did instead was we asked people to just join us and come and talk about the books that they're reading. And we've had such success with it. We've had scores and scores of recommendations exchanged with people, and people just enjoy being able to reach out to one another and to connect with people who are also book lovers. So that's been a real pleasure, and we're going to continue that service.
That's an important service, especially at times like this, where some people feel isolated and they don't have the same social interaction that they had before.
Absolutely.
I can imagine that that's probably a pretty popular service that the library provides. So it's really been great chatting with you. You guys do great work down there. I'm really excited about the assistance that the library gives to folks trying to find employment. I think that's really important. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention or discuss before we move on and cover another aspect of the library?
I just want to say thank you to the Piscataway community for supporting us and each other through this. And we're looking forward to providing even more and better services. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we're here with Erica Krivopal, who is the Teen Services Librarian in Piscataway. Welcome, Erica. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having us today.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do for the Piscataway Library?
Great. So as part of the Teen Services Department, I'm responsible for all the services for teens who we consider to be grades 6 through 12, so sort of the middle school and high school students. So the teen department's responsible for the collections for teens. That would be all the books, the graphic novels, even the video games. And we also would manage volunteer opportunities and programming for teens. So all of our volunteer opportunities, they're very important because teens are constantly looking for volunteer hours, which they need for school. So our volunteer program is called the Teen Advisory Board. We would have monthly meetings where we discuss ongoing volunteer opportunities that the teens could be taking advantage of. This could be being stuff that they can do at home. They can create videos about recommending books for other peers, which is great, and those are all hosted on our website. Teens can also create sort of skill tutorials where if they have something they're really good at and they want to create a video or sort of instructions, they can teach their peers how to do their skill. So we have things like how to play chess or how to make your own scrunchie. So it could be like a range of topics. So Teen Advisory Board is just a really great way for the teens to give back to their community while earning their volunteer hours. They can sort of help out with existing projects in the library. If we need helpers, we'll turn to the Teen Advisory Board to offer them a chance to help with an ongoing program. Or teens actually have the opportunity, if they have ideas for things they want to do, they can sort of create a proposal for the library so they can come up with the whole idea. They can come up with the title, the description, the program details, supply list, recruit other volunteers, and they get to run the program from start to finish. So it's a really great opportunity to sort of take on some leadership roles. And the Teen Advisory Board also has the opportunity to sort of support existing community projects. So for instance, this past year, our Teen Advisory Board worked with a local intermediate school to sort of help with a reorganization project in their library. So that was a really great opportunity for the teens as well. Some of our programs that we have Talk It Out, which is a weekly program that happens every Monday. This provides our teens an opportunity to discuss various social and mental health topics that are affecting them. So especially with the pandemic, we give them a chance to talk about just how they're feeling and how they felt about when the school closed and how they feel about virtual school happening. So we just kind of meet up every Monday and just kind of talk about these different issues. We also like to bring in community speakers for Talk It Out. So one of our frequent speakers is Jennifer Kurgela from the Middlesex Counter Center for Empowerment. So she'll come in and talk about topics of interest like dating and gender norms. Also, I mentioned about Talk It Out. It's actually an award-winning program. It received an Innovation Program Award earlier this year through the New Jersey Library Association, which is a statewide organization for library workers. This fall, we are excited to offer a series of arts workshops. Grant funding for these workshops has been provided by the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders through a grant award from the Middlesex County Cultural and Arts Trust Fund. As part of this series, we're going to have our popular guided paintings, or as we sometimes call them, paint and sit programs. We also routinely offer a range of coding workshops as well as craft programs.
That's a real wide variety of stuff.
We try.
How is that? I mean, obviously, we've all adapted to the new reality with COVID-19. All these things are now being done virtually online, as opposed to in the past. I assume they were all done live, correct? Just a couple of quick questions I have. The Talk It Out program sounds like a terrific program because kids and teens have really had a lot of adjustment issues with respect to the COVID issues.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of participants in that?
Yes, we average about 13 participants a week. They're sometimes different, but we have a lot of the same kids come back, which is great.
Is there a limit to how many folks can participate?
Nope, we can take as many as want to come.
And so again, if I'm at home and I think I'm watching the show and I'm a teen or I have a teenager at home, I can go out on the library's website to find information about teen programs.
Yes, because all our programs do require registration just because we need to be able to send out the virtual event information to them. So they'll get a link where they can join the programs.
Okay, that's terrific. Any other programs for teens that you want to discuss with the folks at home?
I would just highly recommend checking out our website. We keep it current, so you'll see all the upcoming events. And particularly, we're just very excited right now for that arts workshop that's funded by the grant.
The art workshop, if I understand it, because I think it's something similar to my son does. You literally watch somebody online and they're teaching you step by step how to draw something or paint something, correct?
Yeah, so some of our programs will be painting specifically, and they'll learn step by step, which is great.
Yeah, I've actually seen a program like that. My son has done it, and it's amazing how you can teach somebody in that interactive format, and it works really well. So it sounds to me like the services you provide, you guys have done a pretty good job adapting to having to do it virtually. Am I correct?
Yes, we try.
So, I mean, folks should understand at home that, they get out on the website and look, and they can find all sorts of things, and not to be concerned that due to the COVID-19 situation, there's a reduction in services. It sounds like services in your area are up and running 100%.
Yes, they are. We have a very full program schedule, and we're very proud of that. So we encourage all our residents to check out what's going on at the library.
Well, that's great. I appreciate your hard work. And for those teens that are watching PCTV, go on the library's website, see what their services are, get involved in your community, volunteer. That's the message, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we're now here with Peggy Wong, who's the children's librarian in the Piscataway library system, and she's going to discuss with us some of the terrific programming that we have for children in Piscataway. Welcome, Peggy. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you very much for having me today.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the air with us. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what services are available for children through the Piscataway Library?
Well, the kids call me Miss Peggy, and I work mainly at Westergaard, which is the branch library of Piscataway Library. And as a member of the Children's Department, we provide reference to children, and we also do collection development. So we're selecting books and reading materials for kids. And we also do outreach, but at this time we can't do physical outreach, but we can do virtual outreach. So if schools are interested in that, we're happy to do virtual visits. And a big part of what we do that we enjoy doing are library programs for kids. And the library programs are for kids from birth up through grade 5. And I was going to talk a little bit about the programs. So we currently offer a variety of morning and evening storytime programs for children between ages 2 to 5. And those programs are on Facebook, and they are on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And our story times can include nursery rhymes, finger plays, rhymes, songs, music and movement. We include yoga in our story times, crafts, and drawing activities, which makes learning fun, engaging, and entertaining. And since learning begins at birth, we try to help parents, and parents are a child's first and best teacher. We try to help parents by modeling our story time every child ready to read early literacy practices, and those include singing, talking, reading, writing, playing, and counting. And we show parents ways that they can help their child interact with books and develop early literacy pre-reading skills. And if parents can practice what they see us do in our story time with their kids at home, then the effects can be multiplied, and it can help their children on the way to reading. And another benefit that I wanted to mention with story time is that it can also help kids to develop focus, increase their attention span. It can help them make connections with the real world. It can help them work on their fine and gross motor skills, because we do crafts, we do music and movement, and we have them moving around. And in addition to the preschool story times, we also make learning fun for older students. And we have special programming such as storybook STEM for students in grades 1 to 5. And this is where kids can listen to a story and learn how to conduct a hands-on STEM activity. It's a really great program. And that's on Thursday evenings. And in this environment, knowing how important it is to learn how to manage stress, we also offer yoga programs for kids. We have a yoga story time, and we have a yoga program for older kids. And that includes breathing exercises and mindfulness practices. And
so let me ask a question, because you mentioned specific times, and you mentioned that they're on Facebook. Is the library has a Facebook page as well as a website?
Yes, we have a Facebook page. And if you miss any of our story times, they are recorded, so you can always check them out.
Are they interactive in any way?
We try to make our story times interactive, and I personally do interactive story time. I actually use slides, and I animate my slides, and I ask kids questions about what they read. So it's a good way to get them involved instead of just passively sitting there and watching us. So we feel that's important, and we get them to sing and do activities with us.
I know how it used to be done, because I can recall seeing in the library, in the children's room, literally the kids would be there and sitting in a circle like they were in a classroom, and it'd be that interactive reading. It sounds like what you're trying to do is to recreate that as best you can using the technology we have available to us.
Right, yeah, that's the only disappointing part. I mean, it's much more fun in person, it's more live, you get the immediate feedback, and doing it virtually is a little bit harder, but one good thing about doing it virtually is that you have a wider reach. Instead of having a program at Kennedy or at Westergaard, doing it virtually, social media, doesn't matter where you are or what time it is. So it actually does work.
Are there a lot of children that are participating online in these story times?
When you do it live, sometimes you can tell, but sometimes you can't tell. It depends. Parents don't always comment in the chat box, but by looking at the number of views on Facebook, we can see that parents are tuning in with their kids to watch our programs. And so that's a really nice thing to see.
Are there any other children's programs that you want to talk to the residents about?
I just want to also mention that we also have family programs that celebrate the beautiful diversity of Piscataway Library. So if you check the website or Facebook or events calendar, you'll see what's coming up. And we also plan to add additional virtual programs like arts and crafts and a variety of fun virtual games. And I hope that kids will join us for that. Oh, also, some of the programs are on Facebook, but some of them are only on Zoom. So that's why you would have to check the events calendar because you'd get a Zoom link to be able to join us.
And I guess for the folks that maybe haven't been to the library, there's a children's room and a children's collection of books. Am I correct?
Yes. So, I wanted to mention that we at both libraries we have bundled picture books, and it's on a variety of popular themes for kids like dinosaurs, outer space, transportation, and they're bundled so you could take the whole bundle or you could take books in the bundle, but it just makes it quick and easy. You can just grab and go. And we also have displays of books by genre, so you can also browse that way, just to help make the browsing a little bit more easier for you. And then again, you can always go to our website and fill out a form or call us and we can make the Reader's Advisory more personalized to your taste.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us. It's especially important at this time to continue to provide as many services, interactive services to children and teens as we can, because of the challenges we have. I'm sure you're looking forward to the day when we could fully reopen and have all these programs and have the library children's room full of kids again.
Yes, I miss seeing their faces. So.
So I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I want to thank our guests from the library who came and gave us a lot of really good information. We'll be back next month. We'll be on the air, and I look forward to seeing you then.